What is going on, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. I am about 1 week away from going on my childhood dream vacation, something I didn't know if it would ever happen in my life, if I'd be so lucky to experience something as cool as going to Japan. My girlfriend and I are going to Japan for about 17 days, 8 days from now. Huge shout out to her. She put together this unbelievable itinerary. She is a super traveler, super planner. I am a passenger princess. I know very little about traveling and how to properly set up navigating and how to just make everything as convenient as possible so we don't have to get stressed out or waste any time while we're over there. This is very, very optimal and just arigato gozaimasu from me, babe, when you see this. Um, Whole itinerary here, not only outlining the general areas of where we're going to be and the things to do in those areas, but also the specifics of how to get from point A to point B, where we're staying, maps of things. Should we do this? These are options. It's just like all just this, like just it's insane. It's insane. So huge shout out for putting all this together because if I had to, I would have wasted a ton of time while we're over there, and I'm very happy this is going to be handled as optimally as possible. What I contributed was learning about 60 Japanese words and phrases, the not only the sumimasens, but the kore o katte moi desu ka, the mizu o tatsu kurosai, stuff like that. Nihongo wa sukoshi shiga shirimasen. Just to get us by, just to show the people of Japan that it is such a beautiful country and we're so lucky to be able to go there, and they're such a respectful people that I really want them to see that yeah, maybe some tourists are annoying and don't understand etiquette or respect of being in a different culture, in a different place or country, but I really want to not be like that at all and be the most respectful, best tourist I can possibly be. And I think showing them that I'm going to their country and not expecting them to know my language, why the hell would they know English? Even though a lot of them do and it is English friendly, I still want to be a guest. I'm a guest in their country and I want to express that respect to them. So hopefully I don't sound like a dumbass. And yeah, so let's go over the itinerary. We are starting in Tokyo. It's laid out nicely, very nicely right here. Starting in Tokyo, starting in Tokyo, Shibuya, Harajuku, Ikebukuro, Shinjuku, Asakusa, Ueno, Akihabara, Mount Fuji. So a lot of Tokyo, a lot of Tokyo. There's a lot to see in Tokyo. You could spend an entire trip in Tokyo, but we are going to work our way to, oh, that's the wrong way, Mount Fuji for a couple days, work our way to Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima, and then all the way back up to Tokyo, maybe stopping in between of any places we could see. Yeah, that's just a brief outline, and I don't want to go too deep on all of the pre-trip stuff. Obviously, it's a huge mental hurdle to try to get through some of the stuff, and for someone who's never been on a trip, there's a lot of being swayed by watching, by knowing nothing and being just completely content going into it blind and being like, this is going to be the craziest thing ever. Not totally blind, I've seen some arcade videos and in street walking videos and restaurants and whatnot, convenience stores. But then, I get sucked into watching people go to the thrift stores, and I'm like, oh, I want to do more of that. And it's like, yeah, but the better ones, potentially better ones, are on the outskirts of the cities. So do you waste time going to those outskirts and then you only go to one or two stores when you could stay in one general area and see all the different things, like set a destination and then as you're going there just make a million stops on the way and just enjoy a day doing that. Don't let a couple Reddit posts saying that the arcades in Akihabara are going to be way harder to win on the weekends, or that Tokyo is overcrowded and full of tourists and more expensive and there aren't a lot of vegetarian places. Just no expectations. Just believe it when you see it. Go in with a completely open mind. And again, my girlfriend just put on a couple videos of people walking around, uh, enjoying the city and going to different shops and street walking, and it completely just untied the knot in my head and made me realize I am so far removed from this area, this part of the world, that I have no clue what it's going to be like. I'm over here getting worried that all the deals are on the outskirts. Like, I have no clue what any of it is like. Not even like it's about the deals to begin with, but when something like that gets stuck in my head, sometimes my anxiety kicks in and kind of takes over. And I'm like, dude, and like, you have no idea what you're going to see. You have no idea what anything is going to be like. So, don't get caught up on stuff like that. Obviously, the biggest draw for me is ever since I was a little kid, anyone that watches any of my videos or content or anything on social media, I mean, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have my heart, right? Nintendo, video game collecting, those things make up a big part of who I am. They all originated in Japan, so I think that's the original reason for wanting to go over there. And then you start doing your homework and research and digging a little bit, and you just start seeing what the culture is like and how the people act and just the landscapes and the architecture and the shrines and the history, and you realize that there's so much more to seeing a different country than just the things that you have interests in. um, I'm so excited to see the food. I'm so excited to see just what the buildings are like walking through the cities, and how, they're very quiet on the trains and the subways. They just have these rules that are set in place, and they're very respectful of each other and of those rules and of themselves. And that's just something that I think I've been craving for a long time, to be around people that are calm and very respectful and non confrontational. I think those traits reflect who I am a lot, and to know that that's how they are over there made me even more drawn to wanting to go, and just built that excitement up even more. So, between all the things that I originally want to see over there, plus now the history and the food and the culture and everything, this has just turned into my mind. In my mind, it's turned into this mega trip that I could not be more excited for. I haven't felt this excited for anything in a long time. And I'm gonna wrap this up now. I just wanna, but I wanna wrap this up. But even if I come home with no souvenirs, no trinkets, no tchotchkes, no nothing, if I only have the memories of having went there, that would just still be so wonderful. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity to even be able to go. But I did make a list of things that I'm going to look for while I'm there, because I think there's a good balance of not knowing that things exist until I see them and going, that is insane, that is so cool, I kind of want that. And also knowing that stuff exists and not having to think about if it's the right price, or if it's region locked on a certain video game system, or just all the variables that come with, like, oh, I know what that is already. I know that I could play it on a Game Boy Advance, a US one. I don't have to buy a Japanese one for that. Or going, oh, what is this? I haven't seen this before. It says it's $50. That seems fine. I get it. And then you go to a store, a couple days later, and they have it for $20. And it's like, I just want to be on top of enough stuff, but also have my mind blown by stuff I haven't seen. So here's the picture of things that I do want. Japan exclusive Pokemon Converse, Lizardon, Pikachu, Mewtwo, Eevee. I think these are super sharp, and I really want these Mewtwo. Really, any of these three, not so much the Eevee ones, even though I think they're nice. I don't think I'm going to find these there, but if I do, that would be so unbelievable. I also don't know how big their sizes are. I've heard that they run, they have kind of smaller frames over there, as far as you know, bodies go. I don't think they have huge feet, so I don't know if 10.5s are really common over there. So if I do see these, who knows if I'll find the right size. But the Mario Pikachu collaboration deck boxes, just the deck boxes specifically, I think would be so sick to find over there. We'll see. Pokemon plushies that I don't have: Clodsire, Raging Bolt, Altaria. Big Raging Bolt obsession right now. I haven't been making Yu-Gi-Oh content. I, for like 2 months, got super deep into the Pokemon TCG again, and ended up topping a couple challenges in a row with Raging Bolt, and fell in love with it. And got my little Raikou plushie, and he needs a Raging Bolt pal to sit next to him. A sealed booster box for Pokemon cards I think would be so sick. Contrarily to that, of course we're going to look for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't know how much sealed stuff I'm going to try to get over there, but definitely some of my favorite cards I'm going to try to get and bring back home. What else? Yeah, video game stuff. I really want to try to find the Emerald Blue GameCube controller, the orange controller. They have a small Pokemon crane game claw machine. I'm obsessed with arcades and claw machines right now. I don't know how I'm going to get this home. Might have to ship it home or buy another carry-on or a check bag while we're there, rather. I'd love to get Simpsons DVD in Japanese. I love The Simpsons, one of my favorite shows ever, and when I saw this in a thrifting video, I thought I want to try to find that over there. Video game stuff, Charizard, Rayquaza, Venusaur, Game Boy Advance SPs. Expensive. Will I find them? Probably not. Will I find them for a good price? Really, probably not. Mother 2 doesn't seem too hard to get for Super Famicom, and I'd love to get a Super Famicom console over there, as some of them go for as low as like $25 in the thrift stores. Anything Bomberman related. Bomberman is a huge part in my heart. Love Bomberman. One of the first games I've ever played, one of my very first video game memories. That just has stuck with me forever, and with my grandfather, and just being at the video game store, and it's just so much magic that resonates with this game. Full Metal Alchemist, PS2 Japanese games, Japan exclusive, and music. Maria Takeuchi's Plastic Love, one of the first Japanese songs that I really, really fell in love with like years and years ago. Now I feel like it's really lame to go over there and ask for that, because they're probably like, of course, like that's all, you know, these Americans know about is that song. But I've been rocking this song for many years, and if I could find that, that'd be sick. And obviously Twice is my favorite group, and I have like probably 15 or 20 of their albums, but I don't have Twice-to-gram, and that might be my favorite one. So if I get it there, that would mean even more. I think I covered everything in here, but again, it's not so much about any of this stuff. These are just things that I'm kind of keeping an eye out for, and I have like a list of so many other games and specific things, but it's really not about any of this stuff. But I still want to be keen to it. I don't want to be too ignorant going over there on what I'm looking for. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the different areas and the street views and all that stuff, because I'm going to show you guys that live in this video when I'm there. And that's going to be the next part of this video. I can't believe this is actually happening. Also, right now, Japan's currency, the yen, is quite weak. It's kind of been weak for a while, but started to get stronger again here. But as we can see now, it's starting to decline a little bit in strength. I remember growing up that the yen was always about 100 yen to $1 US, so you just move that decimal place over a couple places and it's even. But the yen has just been getting weak to the point that right now, if we do USD to yen, it's actually like almost 150 yen, which is crazy. So still got to keep track of how you're spending your money and stuff, but you are getting a lot of bang for your US dollar right now, which is really good as a tourist, and I did want to include that in this video. In 9 days, we will be flying out of Newark, New Jersey, 6 hours to Vancouver, Canada. From there, we have an hour-and-a-half layover, and then a 10-hour flight to Narita Airport in Tokyo, Japan. I can't wait. I can't wait to finish this video for you with all the amazing experiences that hopefully come out of this trip. Alrighty, the rest of this video will be a home movie style, me talking over clips of our trip to Japan, starting with the train station, Look at this. Look what we're leaving behind. Wow. Couple strapping gentlemen wearing the red and black over there. Here we are, getting ready for the adventure of a lifetime. Beautiful sunset. Vancouver was the layover destination. Great documentary about Stephen Van Sant on the plane that I watched. And then when we got to the Vancouver airport, there was this. My first time in Canada, I'll try some A&W. Got myself some poutine. I don't like cheese that much. I don't like hot cheese, so the girl looked at me funny when I said no cheese. Then we arrived after a very, very long couple flights, about 16 hours, and right when you get to Japan, it's just the most amazing Japanese, like Nintendo, Mario, at the airport. This is at Narita Airport. Yoshi smiling, hi, welcome, Toads jumping up and down, Luigi's hanging, Boozar. This is just like, we got the Acai Super Drive, more of that to come later in the video. I'm not going to talk during every clip. I think some clips are definitely better to have the audio at full volume, but I am going to have the volume playing subtly in the background even while I am talking, so you get an idea of the sounds of Japan. Even while my big mouth won't stop. So, we arrive, Mario stuff everywhere, vending machines everywhere, tchotchkes and trinkets all available to buy already. Pocari Sweat, drink of choice for me during the trip, like a hydration kind of drink, like a Propel almost. Nice sights of the initial train, and here we are. The second we get off the train, this is really my first look at Japan. It was amazing and wonderful and so much to take in. I couldn't believe it was even happening. This is our view from the hotel. Appa! And here we are, day one, Shibuya, Tokyo. We start the trip off going to no place other than 7-Eleven. The Family Marts, the Lawsons, the 7-Elevens there, their convenies or convenience stores are very popular there, and for good reason. They have such a crazy selection, and the 7-Elevens there are definitely S tier. We frequently visited there for snacks and stuff to get us quick breakfasts and quick things throughout the day to keep us going. A huge shout out to Japanese 7-Eleven. Boy. We make our way to Chiyoda City in Tokyo to see the Godzilla statue. There he is, legendary, right behind the Don Quixote right there, which we're about to go in and be blown away. So many cool colors there, but there it is, the excitement. Gotta add the Donkey theme song for that TikTok-inspired clip. This store is a humongous, well-known department store throughout Japan. They have anything you could imagine, from basic needs and wants, healthcare, beauty stuff, to food and tchotchkes and trinkets. It reminds me of a flea market that I used to go to when I was a kid, but way more hip and with a lot of official stuff and non-knockoff stuff. Here they have all these different Pokemon boxers, a lot of Pokemon stuff there, cool luggages. A little overpriced because Pokemon on it. And this store generally was a little overpriced with some stuff, but that's okay. Vertifusion. We make our way to the legendary Hachiko statue. Hachiko was a real dog who lived in Tokyo in the early 1900s and became famous for waiting for his owner at the train station every day after his owner's death. He is a symbol of loyalty, companionship, and the bond between humans and pets, and just seems like a very good boy. And here we are crossing the legendary Shibuya crossing, the busiest crosswalk in the entire world. It is early in the day, so it's not super busy right now, but upon returning at night, it is absolutely flooded with people, which will be a common theme throughout this trip. A lot of people everywhere. Some cool fishies and Pokemon little vending machine there. You never know what you're going to get. Most of the time, you're not going to get anything good, but that one actually sold out. They advertise all the best cards on the front, as they should, to get you hooked in. Jack Daniels Coke at Donkey for about not even $1.50. Heather looking cool on the escalator there, and me being completely mesmerized here by all the Pokemon stuff that Donkey has to offer. Pikachu on more Pikachu. Look at all these cool little statues, little figurines. A couple of them got knocked over a little bit, but that's okay. Adorable Sonic, Japan exclusive plushies, merch right here. They got Tails, Knuckles, Amy. And I instantly find the Pokemon claw machine I was looking for. It was pretty expensive, and I thought I could find it at a thrift shop later for cheaper, so I ended up passing on it here. I also didn't want to lug it around the entire time, as it was only day one. So I was pretty certain that if I found it so early, so soon, Heather actually pointed it out, that I'd be able to grab it again later. So much Pokemon stuff. So much cool Pokemon stuff, and this isn't even a Pokemon Center. This is just a Don Quixote department store, and they just had so much stuff. It was crazy. Here I am standing next to the mascot. Here's a good price for Coca-Cola, about $1 a bottle, and here's some corn and mayonnaise. Now we get to Pokemon Center Shibuya, which has the Pokemon Design Lab, which you will see more of in a second. It is also right next to Nintendo Tokyo, as they're advertising the new Mario Party Jamboree. But I was way more hyped for the Pokemon Center, a Japanese Pokemon Center. I never got to go to an actual one, because by the time I was able to go to the one in New York, it was already Nintendo, the Nintendo store, and now it's Nintendo New York. So, look at this, dude. Mewtwo. They got him in the chamber. We got Yoshi chasing Koopa. Oh, we got the merch, baby. We got the merch, baby. They have a display set up for the design lab. Graffiti Mew upon entrance, and Graffiti Mewtwo. Look at the sleeves. Look at Amphi and Jasmine, dude. Had to cop that. Had to cop a deck box. Man, so many sleeves and deck boxes. Absolutely cop that deck box with Ampharos on it. So many cool sleeves. Look at the Paldean Woopers. I'm like a kid in a candy store at this point, except I think Pokemon is way better than candy. So much cool merch at the Pokemon Center. B-Side Label is a Japan exclusive sticker shop, and they have all Pokemon designs, and at the Pokemon Center they sell the B-side stickers, all 151 plus some Sinnoh ones as well. We made our way to the design lab where you can design your own Pokemon shirt. They had many different Pokemon to choose from, hundreds. You could change the color, there's silhouettes, there's different things you could put on them. You really get to customize it in a lot of different ways. Different templates you could pick from. I ended up picking a team of 6, and that was my final product. Mew hanging over, dude. What's up? What's up? That's a Facebook pic. They're next to Isabel, huge Animal Crossing fan. This is Nintendo Tokyo. One of the employees saw my Pokemon tattoos and complimented. Even though tattoos are really not huge in Japan, it was really cool to see that and to hear that from a native. That was right at the beginning of the trip, and it definitely gave me a big smile. Look at those Yoshi eggs. Look at the Inkling girl. Mad merch everywhere. This was a great way to start the trip. So we started exploring a little bit. Found a little plant shop after Nintendo Tokyo and after the Pokemon Center. How are you going to get a plant home? Not sure. We didn't get any. Went to a cool record shop. Love the American music. Right away we find Variety by Maria Takeuchi, Plastic Love, except they wanted like $220 for it, so it's like a $75 record. So passed on that. Not gonna get my touristy ass. Mandarake, all the manga, huge store that has so much merch and collectible memorabilia. So many Pokemon cards. Some of which I did not talk about in my wants list, but I got obsessed with a couple days before leaving for Japan, are the Bandai card-ass cards from 96, and really from 97 as well, which I'll get more into later. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards as well. Definitely copped some Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This store actually had the card-ass 1997, about 7 cards I think it was, so being able to get those in Japan was super cool, as well as some cool variants to Yu-Gi-Oh cards like Ultra Rare, Sinister Serpent. All of it was super cool. Made our way to a cool burger place called Shogun Burger. They had vegetarian options. Oh, it was so good. Oh, an ongoing theme for this entire trip and video is going to be how damn good the food was the entire time. Japanese food, American food, Chinese food, anything they made it right, baby, I'll tell you that. Quickly found an arcade. They are everywhere there, and I wanted to just really deep dive into the arcades there. I was so excited. Obviously at the beginning of the video, you guys heard how excited I was for the arcade, so I finally got to sink my teeth in a little bit. It is January 2nd now, so we are almost 2 months done with the trip. So this is going to be a big trip down memory lane for me, even though it's like short-term memory lane. Some claw machines right off the rip. I want to see. Uh-oh. A couple uh-ohs. And I guess I might as well tell you guys now. The claw machines in Japan are absolutely brutal. I was ready to go there. Look at that. Look, are you kidding me? Look at that. Ready to go there and clean house. Anyone that has followed my Tony Jackpots TikTok knows my newly rediscovered love of crane games and claw machines. And I did not think it was going to be as brutal as it was in Japan. They really took me for a ride. Here's a game where you have to stop it on that mark there. Actually, on my final try I did and got a cool Hang-Ya-Dan bag. But the claw machines in Japan were ruthless. In the States, when you go to pick up a plushie, if the claws are weak, it just won't pick it up. You'll go, wow, that's a crappy claw. In Japan, they are more than strong enough to pick up the plushie, but then when they bring it to the top, they drop it right in your face. They say, nope, you haven't paid us enough money yet to win this. And that was the theme for every single day. My arcade budget, I ended up only spending half of it because I was just so demoralized by how ruthless they were. But I actually won a Chingling right there. Heather, on the other hand, was very smart about it. She saw Rowlet, her favorite Pokemon, and said, whatever that costs, I'm going to play until I win. I know there's a payout rate. I'm not going to go for any Tony Jackpots tips and tricks. I'm just going to play it straight up and give the machine what it wants. Money until I get what I want. The plushie that's inside the machine. And you know what? On her first try on this Rowlet, first try, she won. That's crazy. She won like 4 times as much as I did on this trip, actually, including some French fries. Yes, they have French fry vending machines. Throughout this video, I do have a lot of clips of us just walking around the street, really get a feel of the, not just the stores and the food and everything, but just what it's like to be there, looking around, hear the sounds, enjoy all the sights that Japan had to offer.
Yeah.
Alright, first haul, sealed Pokemon packs, Pokemon socks, dice holders, sleeves, socks for Randall actually. I got the Ampharos deck box later, I think. Those are just the sleeves for now. I don't think they had the deck box there. Sinister Serpent, Ultra, Ulti-Thought Ruler, Ultra BLS, the 1997 Pokemon card-ass cards. Got some cool ones. The Hangyodan bag, the Design Lab, the Chingling. We found the Clodsire plushie, baby. We actually mailed all that stuff home the next day, I believe it was. So we went a little hard the first day with buying stuff. Now, Shibuya and Shinjuku, where we were staying, are both kind of party towns. Young, nightlife, lot going on at night, definitely. Found a cool camera store. Here's Heather being just completely overwhelmed by how many cameras these places have. This is a second store now, and they just had lenses and cameras and gear for absolute days. Shibuya, though, even being a party town, the people are still respectful. They're not wild and out of control. They're just drunk, but still respectful, and it's really pleasant to see. We finally made our way to a Book Off, a store that I was super excited to go to, a chain store that has, really like a chain hobby shop that has a lot of video games and cards, and it did not disappoint. They had so many racks like this. I probably saw dozens of racks like this at all the stores throughout the entire trip of so many cards, man. So many Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, One Piece, Dragon Ball. You can see here the beautifully lit city is finally starting to come very alive. So after an amazing day one, we got some snacks, headed back to the hotel, and got ready for day two. Fried egg and rice, mushrooms and fried tofu. Oh. Oh, Utsukushi. Not getting a lot of tofu taste in there. This one I'm a little worried about. Plum, sesame, and shiso. I don't really... This is either going to be really good, or I'm not going to like it that much. I already don't like the smell. Oh, no. Oh, yucky. This is probably the best one, right? Yeah, I could eat 1,000 of these.
Breakfast hall, my turn.
Oh!
Uh-huh. All right, we got a strawberry and cream sando. Got a little, look how tiny this little yogurt is. I have very tiny hands. Look at those. Oh, that is not yogurt. It's a juice. I can clearly see it on the bottom. Oh, that's so harsh. Apple cider vinegar. I am an idiot. It's my vitamin C.
That's good. It's like a lemon Go-Gurt pouch.
A little coffee. Big fan of this.
Here I am with a Totoro from My Neighbor Totoro. Great movie. And now let me please give you a tour of our hotel bathroom and the entire hotel room. Look at all the options for your ash here. You got the Oscillate, you got the Eco Flush, you got the Light Flush, you got the regular flush. You got an amazing shower bathtub area where you close the door and the entire thing is your little private bathing room. Lift up that little flap right there, and that is a drain for all the water to go down. Gotta get a shot of the body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. Heather found a first edition Harry Potter book at Mandarake for like 70 cents, but we had to very quickly ship that home as neither one of us wanted to lug it around the entire rest of the trip. Look at the remote with the keyboard on the back. So smart, so innovative. This is what a Japanese hotel TV menu screen looks like, and here is a view from outside when there's not a lot going on during the daytime. There's the Appa Hotel. We were at the Hotel Amanek, I believe was the name of it.
Alright, that's it.
Quite good. So after one of my earliest feelings of being a complete idiot noob tourist and experiencing all the overwhelming accommodation that the nice Japanese customer service people show, we made our way to the Meiji Jingu Shrine. Really cool area. Had all these plants set up. This is a hand washing area. Before you enter any shrine, it is correct to wash your hands and even mouth to cleanse yourself before entering. There was an event going on at the shrine, actually, a marriage. I didn't want to record them walking out, even though we got to see them walking out and it was beautiful, but I didn't want to disrupt their special day. Also, just, you could see here so many tourists, and this was an ongoing theme throughout the trip. Just the tourist-heavy places, the cities were really just that. They were what you would expect in Osaka, Kyoto, Osaka. Very, very tourist-heavy, and just a lot of people everywhere. So we are at Harajuku Station. Hey, nice kicks. Here we are at Takashita Street. I'm not sure the native proper way to pronounce it, but really, really cool area, and where we experienced our first Gauchapan or capsule toy lab. It is just a store that is filled with Gauchapan machines where you put in a few hundred yen and you spin the wheel and you get a little trinket. In Japan, you name it, they have a trinket of it. Trinkets, Gauchapan machines, everywhere. Teletubbies? Why not? Along the way over here, Twice, Baby, Lovelies, what that even is? Yes, why not? Haribo, German, gummy bears that my father loves? Yes, of course they have that. Most of this is completely useless, but Heather gets the last one of this not useless Rilakkuma pouch, which is absolutely adorable, as most of these Gashapons are.
It's actually a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Oh, that's so cute.
That is really cute. But the first Gashapon I wanted to go for was a Kirby watch, specifically a Meta Knight watch for 300 yen. Of course, the machine didn't work. When I put my yen in, I put an extra 100 yen to see if it would do anything, but they refunded me, and the nice worker came over and fixed it. Only on my channel can you get the exclusive inside look at a Gauchapon machine and what it takes to take the Gauchapons out of the machine, I guess. And Lucky Duck, dude, first try, got the Meta Knight. Super hype about that. We then went to this dollar store that had a beanie that said, "Let's go!" and so many snacks. And it was kind of like 100 yen shop, but some stuff was more than 100 yen. But it basically was a dollar store with so many snacks, so much candy, cool vibe, a lot of chippies. Just very busy. Harajuku Street was, look at this, very, very tourist heavy. But the vibe was still cool. And now we got some eating to do. More capsule toy shops as we're looking around, as we're waiting in line, and I got my spiral potato stick.
Cheers. It's rainbow cheese.
Rainbow cheese. This is humongous. This picture really encapsulates how we felt about Japanese food. It was insane. Heather is here at another Gashapon machine trying to get a little Pokemon ring. It comes in a Pokeball. Gets the sleepy Crocolore.
Sleeping.
And then I saw a Bomberman Gashapon. I couldn't throw my yen in there fast enough.
Bro, what?
That's what it comes in? Are you kidding me?
It's a little gold guy.
There were more Bombermen over here. But we left that store, cool little anime shop, and saw all these delicious looking crepes at Marion Crepes. AC/DC Rag, thought that was a cool name. Shot of a map, in case anyone's wondering, wanted to see a map of Harajuku Street.
Look at this. It looks so good.
Wow.
I figured you wanted to try the brown sugar. That's so good. Try that.
That's insane. That's the best.
Look at that.
That's probably the best thing so far.
No way.
Oh, it's so good.
That is good.
After some public transportation and free live public show sounds, we met up with none other than William-san and Rachel-san. What are the odds that we both planned trips to Japan without the other knowing? Luckily, we found out about that before we went to Japan. That way, we made plans to hang out when we got there. Hot start to our meetup with Bill and Rachel, as we had the worst restaurant experience Japan had to offer. The restaurant basically ran out of all the food we ordered. But it was still memorable, and the waiter manager guy said rocks a couple times, and it started an inside joke that was just legendary. Here's some shots of us gaming and whatnot. And a quick story, we were watching a man try to win a Charizard plushie out of one of these claw machines, and he was just losing and losing and losing, and I know that the machines are on a payout, but I didn't want to walk over right when he was done to try to win, so I didn't. I let another girl go first because she was kind of eyeing it as well. She played and lost, and then everyone kind of just seemed to be standing around. No one wanted to play, so I said, alright, I'll try it. And on my first try, I won the Charizard, and the man's heart sank, and I felt terribly, and I kept the Charizard, because, I mean, it's Charizard, are you crazy? But he ended up winning one anyway, so it worked out, and I thought so much about giving him the Charizard the entire time, and couldn't even look at him until Rachel told me that he went back to play more and then did win a Charizard, and I felt so much better about it, because I really did want to give him the Zard. I guess not that bad, because I didn't do it, but I was teetering on it the entire time, and would later like to think that I made up for this a chance at a good deed when I found a 10,000 yen bill on the ground walking, and picked it up and looked around, and there was one kid standing there, and I said, is this yours? And he said, no. And I said, should I just put it back down then? And he said, I'll take it and put it up here in case the person comes back. And that's what I did, and I wanted to give that good juju back, because I don't want to take something that's not mine, but the Charizard was rightfully mine, right, because I did win it on that try that I could have kept playing. So I don't know, I don't think I've made any moral mistakes there, but here's a bunch of shots of us gaming and playing claw machines and losing, and Mimikyu's falling and just not winning. But this is a game where you actually could win, and I knew I was going to win after about 10 plays, and I did, and it was great. After looking for another place to eat, we really kept striking out, so we decided to go to a hotel's Indian restaurant where I got the largest piece of naan. I'm really not a big fan of Indian food anyway, but it was still delicious, and I was very happy that we went there. Saw a pot of greed claw machine, had to go for that. The Charizard and the Chingling wins are in the Hangyadan bag. Keep track of the wins because there aren't a lot of them.
What's wrong with you, Muna? Go! You float! Go! Go! I know! Get on over!
Nina said.
I said no! I said no!
No, I got another 5 credits on here.
So cute. Get that gangly son of a bitch.
You got this, baby. Get it first try, get it first try, get it first
That's
try.
mine.
Get it first
That's
try.
mine. First try. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
So cute! Yay! Oh.
That was one of the hypest claw machine moments for me, getting that Ampharos on the first try. I definitely put a 500 yen coin in there to get 6th place for 500 yen, and won it on the first try, the same as Heather winning that Swablu. She was the claw queen the entire trip, but more losing Clodsire, Yoshi. Some early wins were good, but definitely a lot of L's the entire rest of the trip, including this adorable Drifloon that I wanted to win so badly. Here I saw a Marth plushie I wanted to win, where you just had to stop the lever to go down and hit that red bar, but every time I just couldn't seem to get close enough. Maybe try for a can of Pringles here. Even when I did hoop it nicely, that is what happened. The claws were so unbelievably weak, but just to even be inside a Japanese arcade was so unbelievable. We will see Rachel-san and William-san again tomorrow for day 3. Which starts with us taking our humongous bags of goodies to the post office to ship them back home so we don't have to lug them around the entire trip. After doing that, we made our way to Ichiran Ramen, a very popular ramen place in Japan. This is actually the first time I had meat during the trip. Heather is too, we're both vegetarian, and we decided during this trip to really immerse ourselves in the culture and kind of just forget about the vegetarianism and see what Japan had to offer. But now that we're back home, we are vegetarian again. If you like ramen, you really can't have better ramen than that. It doesn't really get any better than that. I'm not a huge ramen fan, but it was absolutely delicious. So we made our way to the Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden. It was beautiful, and I'm really just gonna kind of let you guys take in all the sights here. It was just a lot of families and very peaceful, but still so full of life and energy at the same time. It was just a wonderful place. It also has a Starbucks inside the garden, so you could relax even further or get a little caffeine if that's what you're looking for. Quick shout out to Pocket Wi-Fi, which is a little mobile hotspot device that gives you internet access for, I think it was a couple bucks a day. Really helped us the entire trip. Internet access is humongous when trying to navigate around Japan. After that, we went to Uniqlo to do some shopping where the employees are constantly saying welcome and thank you. After meeting up with Bill and Rachel again, we make our way to Akihabara, the Electric City of Japan. This is a game haven full of retro game stores and media, collectible, just a crazy nerd's paradise. See the showcase here, Mother 2, looking at me all pretty, but I actually passed on it here. I will say the prices in Akihabara were very expensive. It was extremely touristy here, and they definitely know that, and they definitely price everything accordingly. If you're looking to see cool stuff, Akihabara is amazing, but if you're looking to buy stuff, I would say Akihabara is definitely a humongous tourist trap. But nonetheless, still super excited to be there, trying to just soak in the fact that I even got to go to an amazing place like this. Look at the buildings, dude. It was so cool. Cool stuff everywhere. Finally get to a hard off, our first official hard off. Dog didn't seem too excited about it, but what are you gonna do? Pikachu vending machines. Our first Setagaya, one of my favorite stores. I was looking super forward to it. Rachel and Heather split up at this point and found a little coffee shop that they said was really, really good. I didn't try anything. And then we found a Super Potato. Again, very touristy, very expensive. Right after that, we got some treats. Not sure if this is officially licensed goods, but Magikarp Cream Sando. Bill, I didn't tell you this, but it was so mid. Probably hard to believe me the way I'm woofing it down right there. But anyway, now let's take a look at the legendary Shinjuku 3D cat billboard.
They're like, we'll probably
Don't. Come on. Oh. Okay. Hey.
How do people get good videos?
Why do cats like this?
Let's play a game called How Many Times Can You Find Shohei Ohtani in This Video? Is this number one? Not sure. Also, Japan is extremely humid, even in October, hence why you saw me wearing a t-shirt while I was eating my Magikarp sandwich. Pokemon Go scene is unbelievable. Here I got to do a Gigantamax Charizard raid, 30 people. Got the shiny like an absolute luck legend. G-Max Gigantamax shiny Tokyo Charizard. Instantly becomes an all-time favorite, as Charizard is. Picked up some 7-Eleven spaghetti and sauce, wanted to see what that was all about, and it was pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. Got the Wordle in 3, and that's how we ended day 3. Alright, for breakfast we have egg, rice with edamame, barley, and salted kelp. And to top it off, a dandy chocolate ice cream. So efficient. Ooh. That is an egg on white. Open. Okay, Lawson, I see you. A little flavorless. That was all just so we could eat this. We finish breakfast, say goodbye to Tokyo, and make our way to Mount Fuji. Finally, we arrive at Kawaguchiko Station. Check out some maps, try to get a little familiar with the area. We take a literal Thomas the Tank Engine train and make our way to one of my favorite spots in the entire trip, Choreto Pagoda. Like most of the shrines, temples, and attractions, it came with a lot of walking, but very, very worth. A stand near the pagoda had matcha chocolate ice cream, which Heather said was unbelievable. There was a small amusement park that we didn't go to, but instead went to a store that I wanted to go to every time there was one nearby, Book Off, or Hard Off, or Hobby Off, or Mode Off, all the brother and sister stores. Big second-hand recycle shop, they call it over there, with a lot of video games, media, cards, and after picking up some packs and singles, we did some walking around as the restaurants near Kawaguchiko Station were pretty packed and tourist heavy, so we did some exploring and found Takana Sensei. Hey! the first tatami seating style restaurant we found, and it didn't disappoint. They had a bunch of lunch specials. Their mascot was Takana Sensei, a kitty cat. They had little buzzers like you'd get at restaurants over here that tell you when your food is ready. And the food was so good. Look at the table set up.
That was efficient.
I'm like a hot dog and a Coca-Cola in the summertime. Oh, this is so cool. This is going to be the first art off, right? They've all been book offs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hard Off is your dream place. Hard Off はゆったり買ったりするあなたのお店です。
This store definitely had the best prices that we have been to so far, in my opinion. As little as 300 yen for Super Famicom games, which are about $2 here. Some of the prices were a little goofy, as you can see here, 3 copies of Yoshi's Island, all for different prices, ranging from 300 yen to 1,000. They price things very differently over there, and they do really care about the condition of the game, so that may have something to do with it. Those clips were long, but the music playing in there was too good to cut out. I had to let it ride out. We say goodbye to beautiful Hard Off, got a quick snack, made our way back to Kawaguchiko Station, where we would then catch another bus that headed to Voyan Resort. Now, let me tell you, for a resort, they had no one working the front. We had to call 2 different numbers to get someone to come down and let us in. It was extremely small, but it was just a one-night stay, as the next day we would make our way to try to see Mount Fuji. Also, the bus ride there was so nausea-inducing. We were very happy to get here when we did. Welcome to day 5, the day we wanted to see Fujisan. Started the day off with some snacks, and unfortunately, very unfortunately for Heather, because she really wanted to see Mount Fuji more than anything else, it was very cloudy, and Fujisan was not visible for the public. It was pretty heartbreaking. We got to see this guy, though. We got to see some duck boats. We got to see some cool stuff, but we also got to go to the legendary, TikTok famous, The Park Pancake House. This is where you would get to sit and have a beautiful view while you eat your pancakes of Mount Fuji. Unfortunately, again, Couldn't see them, but got the fluffiest, most delicious pancakes I've ever had in my life. Heather got the, I believe those are the tiramisu pancakes. I got the chocolate banana nut. Dude, look at the chocolate sauce going on them. They were so good. I can't even lie. They were unbelievably good. Very yolky, very light, soft, runny. Just man, yeah, they were good. They were real good. And if we could have seen Mount Fuji in the background, it would have been 10 out of 10. Food, it was still 10 out of 10. Sightseeing, it was wet and cold and rainy, but got to see some ducks. Followed by one of my favorite moments of the entire trip. You made a little noisy? Go butt scratch? After a bit of confusion of not knowing which bus to get on to get to Kyoto and then missing one, we had to wait an hour and a half in the cold, wet conditions, and it felt like we didn't spend the first half of the day very optimally, just because we didn't get to see Mount Fuji, but I was adamant that we try at least, because, you know, in the chance that it wasn't going to be cloudy and the forecast was wrong, we would have got to see it, and I know how much Heather wanted to, so we could have skipped Fuji altogether, but the pancakes were great, that bird noise was amazing, and we finally got to the Sotetsu Freisa Inn in Kyoto. We salvaged the rest of the day by doing some exploring, going down some really cool areas and walkways, and coming across a Saragaya specialty video game shop, second one of the trip I believe it was, which had some really cool stuff, Super Famicom here with some vintage Pokemon stickers on it. I passed up on it. Sometimes hard to tell given the notes they put on the tag if it would actually work, but was able to use my Japanese hiragana and katakana skills to read the spines of these video game sections and find Panic Bomber, a game that was actually on my wants list for PSP. Was so happy to have found that there. Took that home with me for 1,000 yen, can't go wrong. Then stumbled across this huge Pokemon section, which I find funny how popular the crane games there are, but you can just pop into any of these shops really and just come across a huge collection of different plushies. Look at all the fan favorites. Look at the boys' favorite, Ampharos, huge just Ampharos section amongst all the different color-coded sections. And then did not expect this, but we made it to a humongous strip, which was crazy, very, very crowded and tourist heavy here as well. But this is actually where the Pokemon Center Kyoto is located, so we made our way there and had a great rest of our night. We stumbled upon one more book off and a cake in a can vending machine, and that is how we ended day 5. Next up, Arashiyama, day 6. We started our day by hopping in an Uber, the only Uber we took the entire trip. made our way to the bamboo forest, and I'm going to just let a lot of these shots play out. It was very peaceful, very nice, and we got there very early, luckily, because as we were leaving, we saw a lot of people start to make their way in. We then made our way to the riverside district of Arashiyama, which I do believe is the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my entire life. That is humongous. We stopped to grab what Heather said was the best coffee she's ever had before making our way to the World Heritage landmark that is Tenryuji Temple.
I got a good shot of it.
We decided to grab lunch at this noodle restaurant. You get to order on a tablet and they bring the food out to you. It was really cool, really nice view of the street. I got an udon set, while Heather opted to get the Wagyu beef set. She let me try a piece, and I will say I'm not gonna stop being vegetarian, but that was the best piece of beef I've ever had in my entire life. Followed by some matcha and cherry, I believe it was, ice cream, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I was a huge fan of this sign. Heather loved the ice cream. And now look at all the people. They were pouring in, and at this point I was definitely ready to go because way too many people for my liking. But you know what I do like? Oh, Inu wearing boots. Oh, you know what? Totemo kawaii desu. So cute. Sorry about that. Look at all these people, dude. Look at all these people. It was insane. That's where we were earlier. Look how empty it was earlier. Look at it now. Packed, absolutely packed, but that's okay because we got out of there at the perfect time to make our way to the monkey park. You heard right, a monkey park only 100,000 or so steps later, and you could see a bunch of monkeys doing monkey stuff. It was so sick. Yes, a lot of walking. There is a picture of all the steps that we took at some point coming up pretty soon, about 20,000 steps a day. You don't have to worry about the walking. We did all the hard parts for you, so you can just sit back and enjoy some monkey content. Welcome to the Monkey Park. Just please come maybe to the ground. Thank you.
You gotta put your feet up. Your sneakers are stopping it.
We said goodbye to the monkeys, walked through some really cool just suburban areas. Just wanted to get a lot of shots of walking through, the non-crowded parts of Japan, which I thought were some of the coolest. Saw a not nice word here under the bridge. Not sure who put that there. They probably need a talking to or something like that. Hey, a heart off. Another one. Perfect. I didn't buy too much here, but I was looking so forward to the secondhand stores here that being able to be at one, another one, and a crazy junk section, it was just cool. It was just overwhelming and unbelievable. And right across the street, there was another card and video game shop. They had some little vending machines, and you're not going to believe this with the Pokemon pack vending machine right here. We didn't win. Ha, gotcha, tricked you. They had a bunch of cool amiibo, video games, cards, board games, Ubongo, Pokemon Edition, didn't even know what that was, almost bought it, decided to leave it behind. Ravaged through this card section as quickly and efficiently as I could, not the entirety of it because it just would have taken way too long, but found some of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters of all time. These are very good. Luckily for us, the hotel had a washer and dryer, which you could see how much time was left on the TV screen here. Unluckily for us, it wasn't set up very optimally, as all the clothes were still soaking wet when we came back to take them out, but there was a guy who was waiting to do his laundry, and when he found out that we had to dry ours for longer, he got kind of upset. Of course, it was a foreigner, not a native Japanese person. I could never see them getting mad about anything like that, but I went out of my way to apologize, and the guy seemed fine. I just don't like when situations like that happen, because I really never want to bother anybody. I always just want to do the right thing, and when I do bother someone, or when someone gets mad at me, it makes me feel like they're questioning whether they think I want to do wrong to them on purpose, which I never want to do. My anxiety did bother me about it for like an entire day, and I was not in the best mood. I was really in a bad headspace for a day, but I think I learned a good lesson from it to not let stuff like that bother me as much, and in the past that may have bothered me for a lot longer, so I'm happy I was able to overcome it so quickly and have a nice rest of the trip. Story over. Thank you very much for listening to that. I wanted to include it. Anyway, that night we found an amazing vegan place that you're about to see. It was after our excellent dinner at Tukasa when the Laundrygate scandal happened, and it was after that we went to bed because we had a crazy day planned for the next day. About 10,000 torii gates at the Fushimi Inari Shrine. Here's a quick look at our step count so far through the trip. We're doing about 20,000 steps a day. And yes, it was 5:37 in the morning when we got up and made way to the Fushimi Inari Shrine. Wanted to beat everybody else there. Now, I'm not sure if we walked through all 10,000 torii gates, but for your viewing pleasure, a montage of walking. After years and years of walking, we had finally made it to number 2 out of 14. And I really hope they fly in the refills for those vending machines, because that person's got to be built to do that all the time. And after all that walking, we had finally done it. More steps! We were exhausted, and there were a lot more steps, but we finally made it to the top of the shrine. After our descent, per usual, the place started filling up, getting crowded like crazy, so I think getting up early was definitely the move. Pikachu and Shohei Ohtani on the same vending machine. Match made in heaven, if you ask me. It was about 8:30 or so now, still too early for this market to be open, so Heather found a coffee shop featuring this cute little dog, and then I found a donut shop called Koei Donuts. Back at the market, there were more claw machines, and we made our way to a really nice mall that had a store called the Traveler's Factory inside, which is a stationery store that Heather really wanted to go to. Then we made our way to this Round 1 arcade that I really wanted to check out. After many L's, we explored the area a little more, came across this really cool music store. They had their own Twice section, which I thought was sick. Then went to a Most Burger. It's a burger chain in Japan where I got a spicy double burger and Heather got a vegetarian burger. Then explored a little more, found another arcade. Perhaps took a few more L's, and that really wraps up day 7. Welcome to day number 8. Gotta start you off with a little breakfast. We left the hotel with a few destinations in mind. We had the Hokkanji Temple and the Kiyomitsu Dera Temple that we were going to go to. They really reminded me of the burned tower from the Johto region of Pokemon, which was kind of the only thing keeping me in because at this point I was getting a little shrined out and templed out, I hate to say. I didn't have anything else in mind that I preferred to do. I think I was just getting a little bored, and honestly all the walking was making your boy a little cranky on top of it. These places are quite sacred and absolutely beautiful, and maybe I'm abnormal for not being able to appreciate them as much as everyone else can. I did have that Pokemon feeling going through me while we were there. Played a little bit and got a shiny hat Gengar. That's a shiny Charizard and a shiny Gengar, two fan favorites while playing in Japan. So unreal, so unreal. Treat ourselves to a little 7-Eleven sushi, see if it's any good. It was absolutely delicious. And then made our way to a dog cafe. A doggy cafe, a little puppy cafe. Oh, with one of those fish. Remember the fish? There were really not a lot of dogs in there, by the way. The owner didn't have dogs. It was kind of a place where you can bring your own dog. So we saw one or two. They were very cute. And then the owner gave us a little paper crane as we left. She was a sweetheart. She was so nice and spoke a little bit of English. Everyone made it very easy to communicate with them so far in the trip. Also, the food was great. Then we made our way to a donkey, did a little more shopping at Goo or Uniqlo, found this cool mall, found a cool place to eat called Washakuya Kenbanroku. Got us a little appetizer, couple brews, couple french fries, huh? Some barbecue eggplant, huh? I'll tell you what, potatoes are my favorite food, and I love trying french fries, even if we're in Japan and they have a million other options. I wanted to try some Japanese french fries, and not at a single place did they disappoint. Now, what you were about to hear is the most enthusiastic, best gas station attendant on the entire face of this earth. More Pokemon Go luck for me as I got a shiny event Froakie that I quickly evolved. Man, all the fan favorites, Japan did not let me down with good Pokemon fortune. Now, one of Heather's best friends and her fiance planned a trip to Japan at the same time we were going without us knowing. Same way as Bill. Some friends we have, we communicate stuff with each other. And when we found out that they were going also, we had to plan something with them. They came up with the idea of doing a tea ceremony lesson, which I thought could be a little gimmicky or touristy, but it ended up being one of the coolest parts of the entire trip. The place was super cool. They dressed us up in kimonos. We didn't get to see each other while we were dressing up. The girls and the guys were separated. We got to pick our own outfits and colors. They took pictures of us. The teacher who did the ceremony lesson was so nice and interactive and fun. There were people from all over the world gathered in this small room, and it was just a really nice time. And they took a bunch of pictures of us that I'd like to share now. Mika the teacher complimented my nearly all-black style and said I looked like Tom Cruise in Last Samurai, to which everyone laughed, and then I said, come on lady, I'm a little more handsome than Tom Cruise now, what are we talking about over here? No, the ceremony was really nice, the venue was amazing, and after that we went to a really cool little bar restaurant and got amazing food. I did not try any of the dumplings that everyone got, but they looked so good. Got a picture next to the Colonel, Norm Macdonald, rest in peace. I don't think that's who they based that one off of specifically, but still happy to get a picture next to it. Got these delicious treats, and that wrapped up day 8. On to Osaka. Day 9, we're headed to Osaka. Huge shout out to Heather for being a navigation expert. Huge shout out to Google for getting us where we had to go. If it wasn't for them, I would have been lost and wasted so much time. I will say the transportation system in Japan is unbelievable. The subway system, you get a transit card. You could even download it onto your phone. You could use it at 7-Eleven. You could use it when you're trying to enter the subway. You tap it on a little space near the entrance. It lets you in. You get on the subway. When you get off, you tap it again. It charges you for how long you went. Everyone is super quiet on the subway. Everything you hear is 100% true. Could be rush hour, morning or night. 30 or so people crammed into one cart. Mostly everybody has to stand up. Everyone has the backpacks on their front, not on their backs, to create space for other people, and it's totally quiet in there. It's crazy the amount of respect that they have for each other. It's really, really nice to see. One thing I will say about the JR line, or the above ground train, and maybe even the bullet train, is that you usually need 2 tickets. You need a general seating ticket and also a reserved seating ticket, and they let us through one of them with only one and stamped our 1 ticket. And when we got to Osaka, we couldn't get off. We couldn't send our tickets through the little machine because we were missing one of them. So we had to wait in the fare adjustment line with like a million other people. And it seemed that a lot of other people may have had problems like that. And when the woman that was working there saw what the problem was with us, she was just kind of like, oh, I can't believe you guys just waited for like 45 minutes for something like this. She felt very badly and scooted us right along. It can be a little bit confusing at times, but we made it there safely, so no worries. After the craziness of the train station, we finally made it to the Dotonbori Hotel, followed by a really cool pizza spot that we found, and then stopped at the Namba Yasaka Shrine. The Japanese The Dotonbori area was pretty cool, pretty tourist heavy, I will say. Hit up a couple book offs over there. Finally found a Full Metal Alchemist game for PS2. I had been looking for the wrong things on the spines. I didn't know it was kanji. I was looking for hiragana and katakana. A lot of cool stuff, but I didn't buy too much. Just a really cool area, Dotonbori in Osaka. Even the little drugstore type stores over there are fun to go to. They got sweets and Pokemon stuff and Tamagotchis and Mario stuff. It's crazy. We got to see the legendary Glico Man. This area was mobbed with people. Can you guess where we're about to be? You guessed it, Pokemon Center Osaka DX. Look at those birds, dude. Got 1 in 9 shot, the 0 or with 10. Pikachu's gotta be in there. What do we got? Oh, you called it!
Look at the way that it sits in there. Oh, it's so cute.
Coolest place I've ever been in my entire life. Oko Vegan Option Okonomiyaki Restaurant. Shout out to Shio. This girl's running a 7 or so story restaurant by herself, cooking the food, taking the orders with a smile on her face the whole time. Coolest vibe. Serve yourself bar. Marked our territory on the wall. Yes, you could write all over the walls. Coolest spot I've ever been to. That's not super dry. The house price is probably Taiwan. We headed back to the hotel. Yes, this is the front of our hotel for some free beer, free ice cream, and funny Japanese game shows on TV. We really needed to rest up because tomorrow was going to be a crazy day going to a place where the deer rule, Nara. Upon arrival at Nara, they had a really nice craft center set up right outside the station where Heather found some cool custom-made matcha stuff, and one of the vendors actually complimented my Bomberman tattoo. It was so subarashi. Sorry, we also found an arcade right across the street and had to check it out, and we'll see if this one was any different from the rest of them.
Yeah.
Try to grab it so that there's more space right here.
Yeah.
Can you come any closer to yourself? Let's go.
I can add them to my little collection.
If only I had some advice for myself to help win. At least Heather won some. I was happy about that. Next we tried some delicious melon pan before making our way to seeing the deer. Oh my gosh. Want this? You're full now? Chica. Huh? Hungry? Hungry? Hungry?
Like, I'm out of here.
Huh?
Ooh, Carmen.
jump running away from me.
You probably want to get there.
Oh, what happened? Here. Here. Poke you on the head with it. Want this? It's pretty tasty. You're really not interested in this? This is pretty good stuff. Chica. Chica. Have a little piece. Have a little piece. Want a little piece? You want your piece. Oh, I booped you on the nose. Bye. Hungry? Oh, okay, not hungry. Hungry? You're not hungry. Dude, look at the bow. Alright, I got one more. We're gonna break it in half. I'll leave it right there, but don't come crazy for it now. Look at that. Oh, you're so young, boy. I got one left. There it is. Oh, you're a good boy. Thank you. The closer to the entrance you are, the more likely the deer have already gotten fed from people. You gotta go a little bit deeper if you want to get some tricks out of them.
That wasn't bad. Oh, thank you.
Yummy. Mmm.
You really want it? You gotta bow really good for me.
Hi. Hi. I don't have anything. After getting out of the way of the million people who arrived, we get some lunch and maybe a little more melon pound right after, before going to the best book off of the entire trip. Kitty cat. Man, I'm gonna look back on this trip with so many fond memories. Pokemon plushies, a great selection of games for great prices, accessories, twice the gram, the CD I was looking for, really cool merch and cards. This book off was by far the best. One day I like to think that I'll be on the Ship of Fools, but instead we went to Donkey. Heather found a really nice luggage bag for a really good deal. We had a goofy dinner and called it a night. Also, sorry if the commentary is a little uncharacteristic of myself or even boring. I think I'm just trying to stay on topic and informative without joking too much and dragging the clips out too long. Day 11 in Osaka. I kind of had the reins this day, but I didn't have a lot planned, so it was a pretty chill day with just some shopping and adventuring.
This looks insane.
Yeah? The German apple pancakes looked so good on the menu that Heather and I both ordered them. Also, someone explain to me this receipt, please. Found another Seragaya store. This one was packed with a lot of stuff. Crazy showcases with really cool stuff in there. I think I just bought one Kirby Super Famicom game here, though. They even had the Golden Cart Special Edition Punch-Out for Famicom, which is super rare. This was another store that we stumbled upon inside a mall. It had a lot of really cool vintage toys. Alright, here we are. The spicy Family chicken, and a regular legendary Family Mart chicken. Itadakimasu.
Cheers.
I was looking for a luggage bag myself, and we came across this store that had a lot of really cool clothing and a huge sneaker selection, and then the other part of the store, may have even been a different store entirely, had a bunch of video games and media kind of stuff. Not a lot of luggage bags, unfortunately. So we made our way to a Mandarake, which had 1996 Bandai Card-ass Pokemon cards. These are the first Pokemon cards ever made. They came out of vending machines in Japan only. I know a lot of people think that Top Sun made the first ever Pokemon cards, but this is because when they got those cards graded, the grading companies actually made an error on the tag and said that they came out in 95, but they actually didn't come out until March 1997, making the Bandai Card-ass cards the first ever Pokemon cards to be released. After a little bit more exploring, we found a huge stationery store that Heather fell in love with. After how much we were cramming into every other day, day 11 almost seemed a little unproductive, but it was a chill day. We still had fun getting to explore Osaka a little bit. We would make our way to Osaka Castle in the morning before taking the train to Hiroshima, the westernmost part of Japan that we would be in during this trip. I really think Hiroshima may have been the coolest part of Japan that we visited. It definitely was the least touristy, so it had the realest vibe. It was just so calm and so peaceful there. I mean, all of Japan really is, but something about being away from the hecticness of the tourists and all the cool spots just made it that much more peaceful. It was just wonderful, truly. In Hiroshima is where we booked an Airbnb of a traditional, old school style Japanese home. The owner of the house, Mayumi, was the sweetest woman we've ever met. She met us at the corner of the street to make sure we found it okay. When we got there, she had us sit down in one of the rooms with tatami mats, made us tea and brought sweets over for us, explained everything about the house, talked to us a little bit, giving suggestions on where to go to eat and things to do in the area. She was just such a welcoming and warm person to be around, and to let us stay in her home was truly special for us. She also had a pot that had survived the atomic bomb, which you're going to see when we go on a tour through the entire house, because it was just so cool in a moment here. A quick stop at this Book Off Super Bazaar in a mall next to the Airbnb we were staying at, which had a crazy good selection of Pokemon cards, and they had just really good prices on a lot of the holos, being $1 or $2 a piece. I should have bought more, but I kind of just stayed to my favorites. Good price, dude.
Picnic water, you can get that for 100 yen.
Welcome to our Airbnb where we stayed at. Beautiful home. Right when you enter, nice stone layout to remove your shoes. Place on these slippers to move around the house in. All the door frames were extremely low in the house. I bumped my head too many times, a good handful of times. So you had to kind of duck and be careful as you were navigating through, but that's okay. It was made for kind of a smaller people when it was built. Not even in a funny way, it really actually was. Beautiful layout. Really just a beautiful home all the way through. I can't believe I stayed here. Honestly, I can't believe I've enjoyed a life where I've been able to stay in a place like this on the other side of the earth. It's just like mind-blowing to me. Is that even real? Like, look at that. This is where we sat for some tea. I know this is a bit of a longer segment, but I had to show the entire house. This is just way too cool. It was way too cool to leave even a little bit out. I had to show it in its entirety. This is the pot that survived the atomic bomb. Yeah. Wow. We made our way to another Book Off Super Bazaar, and I hate to say this was actually one of the worst ones of the entire trip. The prices were just really, really high. They did have some cool stuff. Unfortunately, the prices just weren't right for me. I almost bought this orange GameCube controller that I had on my list, but I decided to pass on it. Really cool Pokemon N64s here. We then hit up a small locally owned video game store called Anaya, just run by one guy it seemed, where I found 3 Tales games for 50 yen each, and they had this sick Bomberman vinyl. One of my Yumi's recommendations for food was this hole-in-the-wall okonomiyaki spot run by a mother and son. This was the most authentic Japanese experience of the entire trip, in my opinion. There was no English menu, no accommodation for tourists, but they still welcomed us so warmly. Even the customers, these businessmen who were sitting at the counter, smoking cigarettes and vaping and drinking, turning around, laughing, joking with us, trying to help us order. To some people, it might just be an okonomiyaki spot, but it was one of the realest experiences I've ever had, and the food was amazing. A couple full bellies and a peaceful walk home to get us ready for day 13. I'm not a fan of boats and I'm not a fan of heights, but I overcame both to see some beautiful sights. Yeah! Day 13. Welcome. Today was our trip to Miyajima Island, which starts with us taking the ferry there. Now what kind of little toilet is this? I'm sorry, I had to use and take a picture of this little toilet because I never saw anything like that before. Also, the deer on Miyajima Island are relentless for food. At one point they were chasing me around. Good content for Heather at least. After a little walking, we got to see the beautiful Itsukushima Shrine. Did I mention the deer are relentless? Mmm. Yummy. Come get some, yeah, come get the ice cream. Yeah, come on. Yeah, there you go. No? Really nice bubble tea place with a very friendly owner. We luckily booked our ropeway tickets before it got too windy and made our way up. Not too bad for someone who doesn't like heights, huh? With a simultaneous button press, we lit the fire of the Lover Sanctuary and went on to see one of the most beautiful sights ever. It was an arduous hour and a half hike down, and I was trying to be appreciative of where we were and what we were doing, but I was so hiked out and enshrined out, and I didn't know there were going to be any more, and I was getting pretty cranky, but eventually we made our way to the bottom. How did I get so lucky to travel the world with this girl? We said goodbye to the beautiful island of Miyajima, which was technically the westernmost area we visited during our trip, and then made our way to a mall next to our Airbnb, went to a food court where I tried some KFC in Japan, wanted to see what it was like. It was pretty good. Heather got something else. Unfortunately, then I got a nosebleed at the food court. It was pretty embarrassing, had to take care of that. We made our way to the arcade that had some really cool stuff. Unfortunately, this one bullied me the same way the rest of them did, and even though I had some good deals, like 200 yen for 3 plays, I couldn't win anything, man. I spent like $25 or $30 on one game trying to beat this little monkey by just knocking him off a ledge and winning this humongous Taito drum. I had him literally hanging off there so many times, but I couldn't finish the job, and it was pretty heartbreaking. But you know what? Heather made out pretty good, and she was really crushing the arcades there. Day 14 was mostly a day of travel as we were headed to Ginza, Tokyo. We said goodbye to our Airbnb host Mayumi. Thank you so much for everything. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you. Before leaving Hiroshima, we made our way to the atomic bomb dome, which was pretty hard to look at, honestly. I think it's very saddening and crazy to see how hurtful living things could be to one another. We broke up the bullet train ride by hopping off to try to see Mount Fuji one more time, but it was just a bit too cloudy, unfortunately. We could see a little bit of the bottom half, though. We made our way to the Henna Hotel, where we were greeted by these robotic receptionists, which were pretty creepy and off-putting, I'm not gonna lie. Stumbled across this Chinese food restaurant. We were looking at the menu outside, and a local came up to us and said it's one of his favorite spots. So we tried it. I got this spicy eggplant dish, and it was absolutely delicious. Again, mostly a day of travel, but the next day would be our final full day in Japan. We really wanted to make the most of it. Welcome to a bittersweet day 15. Our trip was nearing an end and we knew it, but we still wanted to make the most of our last full day in Japan. We had tickets to Team Lab Borderless. There was a Pokemon art exhibit happening in the same building that we did not go to but thought it was really cool. Now, Team Lab Borderless is a digital art museum, something I've never experienced before. Another banger 10 out of 10 experience. I recorded probably like the entirety of it, like half hour worth of content from right when we walked in to every single room. It was breathtaking, it was stunning, it was just a crazy experience, and I highly recommend watching a video and seeing the full thing from start to finish because it is really magnificent. I'm pushing 2 hours on this video, so I didn't want to make it overwhelming with all this, but I tried to include as much of it as I can. Unbelievable experience, I highly recommend it. Hope you enjoy some of these shots from it. We found an American diner-style restaurant called Jonathan's where I got just a whole plethora of different stuff, which was all very good. Made a quick stop at the Tokyo Tower before hitting a couple more stores to grab some souvenirs and see if there was any last-minute stuff we could find.
I'm sorry I ruined your plane.
How about day before we leave, found a tattoo shop that not only accepted walk-ins but had time to do both of us. Tiemi, thank you so much for the work. Heather's Koi Fish came out amazing. My Mizuchi came out amazing. I didn't really have a strong idea of what I wanted. I kind of just gave her a couple pictures and said, have fun, do your thing with it. I want something memorable. And it has grown on me so much. I absolutely love how the tattoo has come out. Thank you so much. I ended up going to one more Pokemon Center. Explored Ginza a little bit. Shout out Ginza Karen for the good deal on the luggage bag that I desperately needed. Heather pointed out this Fendi store. Spin it in Pokemon Go. Get an exclusive Fendi t-shirt. Missed it in New York, so I was very happy to get it. The night was drawing to a close, so we opted for a fast and easy dinner at Family Mart as opposed to the more expensive options that were around Ginza, before waiting at 11 o'clock at night for 45 minutes in Don Quixote, picking up some last-minute souvenirs and stuffing our bags with whatever we could. Next morning, had some nice breakfast at the hotel, had our luggage locked up nicely, ended up going to Age 3 fried sandwich place that Heather really wanted to go to. I didn't even make a slide for day 16 because that was it. It was a quick morning, got those fried sandwiches, got our luggages, and made our way to the airport. It was finally time to say goodbye to beautiful Nihon. Getting through customs and security at Narita Airport was the easiest thing in the world, but Air Canada was giving me a hard time trying to force me to check my bag with all my stuff that I bought, which I really did not feel comfortably with. Luckily for me, they gave up that fight. I think they could tell how badly I wanted to keep my stuff with me. We made it safely to our layover in Canada, but we only had about an hour or so to catch our next flight. Unfortunately, there was pre-screening security to get into the US, so we almost missed our flight. We were the last passengers on, and they still tried to force me to check my bag at the last second, which they, again, quickly said, no, it's okay, you just keep it with you. Bit of a stressful way to end the trip, but we got home safely. All of our stuff got home safely with us, so very thankful about that. A nice American hotel-style breakfast for me the next day. We make it home safely, and now on to the haul. A lot of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Found a lot of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. Got some sealed Pokemon packs. Not sure if I'm going to open them. I really do like to keep them sealed. But found some singles of some of my favorite mons. Clodsire, Altaria, Mewtwo, Ampharos is my favorite. Mew's my third favorite. We got Charizard. Some of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. Jinzo, Karibo, Gale, Judgment Dragon, Torguide, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Treeborn Frog. Found some cool Japanese art there too, like the Call of the Haunted, the Monster Reborn. Some really cool Pokemon merch, Ampharos merch. B-side label stickers, sealed Pokemon booster box of Wild Forces. There are the Tales games that I found at Anaya. N64 games, PlayStation memory card, Wii stuff, DS stuff, Wii U, Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympics, a Yakuza game, Mother 2 for Super Famicom, Mario Party 2, and Pokemon Gold and Silver for N64, Super Famicom game, Street Fighter 2, Donkey Kong, Super Mario RPG, Mega Man Soccer or Rockman Soccer, Super Wagyan Land. Found the Twice albums I was looking for, Twice to Graham, found with Youth. Found a Super Famicom controller, got a boxed Chrono Trigger for $11 because it was missing the manual. Picked up a couple Switch games, Shining Pearl, Super Mario RPG, plan on playing both of those, Panic Bomber for PSP, found a GameCube controller for like 900 yen, I think it was, some amazing plushies, some merch from some of the amazing places that we went, and I still actually have a box, the one that I shipped on the second or third day back home. I haven't opened it yet. One day I'm going to open it. I'm not ready to open it yet. I just want to get hit with a haul from Japan, and I'm not sure when that day is going to come, but I have a Clodsire plush, a Charizard plush, and so many cool things in there. My Shibuya Pokemon Lab t-shirt that I made in there, and one day I'm going to have a nice time opening it. In wrapping up, I just want to say thank you to my girlfriend, Heather. I love you. Thank you so much for experiencing my first time out of the country with me, going to a place where I really wanted to go. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And I also want to thank the beautiful country of Japan and all of its people for really welcoming me and letting me be a guest in your country. I really hope I showed you the amount of respect that you deserve. It is a truly wonderful, beautiful place, and I'm beyond grateful that I was able to spend time there. So thank you very, very much for allowing me to. Also, thank you to everybody who watched this video. Thank you so much for caring about my experience so much that you would watch this entire thing. I know it was very long. This was one of the most wonderful times of my entire life. Nihon, watashi no ai, arigatou gozaimasu.